The sacred space, a place where we can just bathe in the beauty of spirit. I just came up with it. I like it. Bathe in the beauty of spirit.
That's good.
I like it, right? Okay.
That's good.
Write that down.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, welcome.
Unity, is that good?
Yeah.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We offer a unique approach to spirituality. We are love-centered and inclusive. We embrace an open heart and an open mind. We are spiritual, not religious. We are a blending of Christianity, Eastern philosophy, science, transcendentalism, and affirmative prayer based on the power of the mind.
We offer spiritual teachings that provide practical tools for meaningful and abundant living. We envision a spiritually transformed world as an interspiritual community and divine love in expression. We draw from and honor all paths to spirit.
We have no dogma or creed, though we do have 5 principles that formulate our philosophy. Our foundational belief is oneness. Our foundational practice is living in the present moment.
Once again, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. Our announcements for today. We got quite a few of them.
Oh, you missed the mission statement.
Oh, that's what she... Oh,
Excuse me. Please join me in affirming our mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, inspiring and empowering individual and global transformation as exemplified by the life and teachings of Jesus.
then I'm supposed to say, once again, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. Announcements.
Yes. If you are here for the first time, we would love for you to stand up so that we can welcome you.
If you don't mind.
If you don't mind. And, oh, yes. And if you don't mind, give us your name and tell us where you're from. Yes?
My name is John. I live in Arkansas, and I am visiting my daughter.
Yay, very good. Thank you. Well, we thank you for being here, and we hope that we will make you feel very, very welcome and invite you to become a member of our Unity Spiritual Center and make it your home if you so desire. The announcements are Dia de los Muertos potluck. Kathy Herring has graciously invited us to her home in honor of Dia de los Muertos on October the 28th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. for a potluck. So put that on your calendar now. It will be a great fun. Let's Get Metaphysical discussion group with Reverend Tommy meets on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. at Legacy Hills Park. 9:30 at Legacy Hills Park across the street. New member class starts October the 8th from 12 to 2. The book club meets on the 4th Tuesday of each month at the Lark and Owl at 10 a.m. The next meeting will be on Tuesday, September the 26th, and the book will be discussed. The book that will be discussed is The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, Ph.D. Conference for Human Evolution Screening, October the 14th and November the 4th from on November the 4th and the 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. And do we have the names of the people that we'll be seeing?
I can get them.
Oh, just wondered. That's okay. The Caring Place has received an increase in people needing food assistance. They have requested donations of boxed cereals of all kinds. Donna Holloway has graciously volunteered to pick them up from the Oaks every week and deliver them to the Caring Place. Thank you in advance for your generosity. For additional information for any of these events, please visit our welcome table in the foyer, check out your weekly newsletter, go to our website, or email admin@unitygeorgetown.org. Thank you.
A couple of notes on those announcements. The Let's Get Metaphysical classes, meets right across the street at the Legacy Park at 9:30 in the morning. And if you're new to this, we watch these leading edge videos on all sorts of topics, and then we have discussions. If you would like to be on the list, the email list, so I can send you the videos, I usually send them out either Sunday night or Monday morning. Just talk to me afterwards. I'll give you my card, and you can send me the email and just tell me, put me on the list. The conference thing, we're going to resume it on the, what was it, 11th? Yeah, 14th of October. Okay. It'll be here at the Mesquite Room. And I think, we bought this conference that took place in January in California, and it was Dr. Lipton and Greg Braden and some really leading edge thinkers. And we've been watching some of the videos, and they're just really astounding. And we've got 3 more to look at. One of them's from Curtis Childs, and it's called Go Human, Creating Heaven in Your Life and the World. The second one is William Henry, The Light Body, A New Humanity. And the third one is Doctors J.J. and Desiree Hertag, Awakening Our Superconscious Mind. So each one is about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours long. We watch for a little bit, we take a break and discuss them, and then we continue. So make sure you take note of that. And one final announcement, there will be a memorial service celebration of life for Bob Lindquist on Saturday, September the 30th, 10 a.m. at the Ramsey Funeral Home here in Georgetown. We'll make that announcement again because that's, 2 weeks from now, Ann? Is that right? Where's Ann? Yes, 2 weeks? Oh, there you are. Yeah, okay. So keep that also in mind so we can all gather and honor our friend Bob, who we loved and miss. So, we like to start with a little bit of humor, these services, because, and I keep hearing it over and over, that laughter truly is the best medicine. And so it gives us a chance to kind of just start with that vibration of laughter. Because you're in laughter, you're just filled with joy. I have a guest comedian today, and his name is Dan. So come on up, Dan.
Is this thing on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this farmer decides finally to sell his farm, and he's gonna move in closer to town, and he figures now I can start going to church again, because he used to love to go to church. And he visits this one church, and he notices a lot of expensive cars out in the parking lot, and really finely dressed people inside, and it seemed a little snooty to him. But he could overlook that. And then he was leaving, and the pastor was outside the front door shaking hands with everyone, and he pulled him aside and said, I would like you to go home and pray to God about how he would like you to dress when you come to our church. Because, he had on jeans, and they were a little tattered, but everything was clean. His boots were a little scuffed, but everything was clean. His shirt was clean. Anyway, he was told to go home and pray to God about how he should dress to come to this church. Well, the next Sunday, he comes back, and he's still dressed the same way. So the pastor pulls him aside again. He said, I thought I told you to go home and pray to God and ask him how you should dress when you come to our church. He said, I did. But he said he didn't know what to tell me because he's never been here.
Let's stand up and begin with our opening song.
Open the eyes of my heart, I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart, I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, 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 I want to see you.
Today's daily word is joy. God's joy blesses each day of my life. The aroma of my favorite foods from childhood brings a happy memory to mind. Hearing the voice of a dear one warms my heart. Looking upon a newborn's face for the first time evokes a feeling that words could never describe or express. While the giddy excitement of a child's joy may now be a memory, the joy I know today still delights me. Each day, I embrace more completely the joy of knowing I am a living expression of God. God's life lives as me. God's wisdom is within me, my guide to a deepening understanding of myself and the world. The love I share with people who are dear to me is God's love, living in each heart and expressing in each one of us. What greater joy could there be? Rejoice always. 1 Thessalonians 5:16. And would you now please join me in today's affirmation and repeat twice after me? God's joy blesses each day of my life. God's joy blesses each day of my life.
Good morning. I'm going to light the candles that signify divine order. Mind, idea, expression. Mind is that overarching principle, that pure potential. Ideas flow from that pure potential, and if we capture them and grab onto them and apply them, that then is expression, and it is how we create our lives. Now, please say with me our prayer of intention and mission statement. Living Spirit opens our minds, opens our hearts, and touches us all deeply with love, and sends us out as agents of love, agents of peace, agents of justice. We don't have children today. This is the part of the service we do. We don't? Someone's looking surprised back there. I don't see any, but this is the time that we would normally send them out as agents of love for Children's Church.
Let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me, love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Holy, holy way.
Please join me in affirming together our statement of being and our vision statement. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotence. Centered in God, we co-create a world of love, peace, and abundance.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present is what I'm made of. I choose love. of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love.
I'm here to introduce our community prayer, and I want to start with Shana Tova for those of you who celebrate or who have celebrated, are celebrating Rosh Hashanah. And while we certainly are grateful for the rainfall that we had yesterday, we can celebrate that as well. And we also send our love to the parts of the world that are having weather that may not feel as welcome. So let us breathe in and open our hearts. And as we feel that breath rise up in our body, let us create a space that is holy and sacred. It's an opening, a place where we may whisper or say aloud the name of any person or situation that needs some extra attention on this beautiful morning. Let us turn it over to the silence and let it be. And now we close this time of prayer by singing an ancient prayer, one handed down through the ages that affirms God's realm in earth as it is in heaven, our Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom,
I had big plans this morning. I was planning to announce something that we hadn't seen for a while. However, Mother Nature beat me to it this weekend with that amazing thunder and lightning and rain. But in keeping with that theme, just the same, I'm going to introduce a technique for deepening your spiritual practice and for taking care of yourself at the same time. It's called RAIN. Now, I have to credit a woman by the name of Tara Brock, who is on the East Coast and has a wonderful meditation center there. She's a teacher, an author, and a psychologist. And I'm also going to be drawing on some of my other teachers because I learned a long time ago that if you borrow from just one, it's called plagiarism. But if you borrow from a lot of people, it's called research. So I've done my research, and the acronym is RAIN, R-A-I-N. And Tara Brock uses it as a guide, kind of a little trick, to guide us in bringing mindfulness to our lives and to our spiritual practices, and to also show compassion for ourselves. So the R for RAIN is recognize what's going on. A, allow the experience to be just as it is. I, investigate with interest and care. And N, nurture with self-compassion. So anytime you feel like your meditation is kind of going awry, or that you feel just a little off, maybe when you're driving, think of this acronym. So recognize what's going on. What are you feeling? What are the behaviors? What are the feelings that you're most aware of? And you can name it silently to yourself. You can say, I use a word that I'm not going to share, but you can say, I'm stressy, or I'm sad, or I'm lonely, or I'm angry. So once you notice, the A then is for allowing. Just allow that to be. One of my other teachers, John Kabat-Zinn, and I don't mean to imply that he was a personal teacher, but I'm a student of his work. He says, allow this moment to be exactly as it is, and allow yourself to be exactly as you are. We do that and not without trying to fix the feeling or to push it down or tuck it away. And then the I is for investigate. So you're going to look into that a little more deeply and say to yourself, what is it in me that wants my attention? So you're paying attention. And then the N, nurturing, actually grows out of that. Once you pay attention to what you're feeling, your kind self automatically comes forward. And so once you recognize what it is that you're feeling, you can then more fully nurture your inner life with self-care. And self-care is one of Unity's principles. Now, if you'd like to experience the fullness of RAIN, sort of like it was yesterday afternoon, I will be happy to give you the website where you can get a full meditation. But for this moment, in this precious moment, let's just go inside very briefly for a mini version. So recognize
Just say, you know what, Father, forgive me. I'm not even worthy to be one of your, even your servants, but I'm willing to be a servant to you. Well, the Father does not even acknowledge the plea for forgiveness, as if it doesn't exist, because for the Father, it does not exist. That is a hard concept to understand. Because if God had acknowledged that, then God would be dualistic. And now we have a God that we created in our image instead of the other way around. It's backwards. And if that wasn't enough, I told him something really weird. I told him, think about this. And we're beginning to understand that forgiveness is for the forgiver. We know this. And I asked him to think, what need would God have to forgive? That would mean God needed something. I'm pretty sure they had not heard that one either. Then I took a step even further. And afterwards, I have a lot of nice comments about actually. Even the younger kids especially said, man, that was on the money, man. Because they don't hear these things. But I told them something even stranger. I told them that they were spiritual beings having a human experience. And I said, what? Now, I'm sure somewhere along the way, somebody was thinking, this is blasphemous, I don't want to talk about it. But I told them that these are not my words. They are the words of a Catholic priest, Father Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Not sure that helped, but I think Danny was proud of me. That I actually came out of the closet. Yeah, I did. I came out of the closet. Then the point I'm trying to make is that I need to stop being afraid of sharing our views with the world. And because the old ones don't work, and this is why there has been an 80-year decline in attendance in church, because people have outgrown that old story. But you don't have a new story to fill it with. And that's what we do here in Unity. So I just felt like I was releasing some secret little thing from the closet that I didn't want to share, because I'd be thinking, who is this guy? What's wrong with this guy? So the fact that God does not judge seems very odd to most people. And they were probably thinking, oh, that's such a sweet thought. What a moron. He's going to hell for sure. I mean, it sounds good, right? Oh, God does not judge. Wonderful. So lately, I have been wanting to address some of these topics that I grew up thinking there were strange beliefs to me. And so when I came across the book, The Universal Christ Again, by Richard Rohr, for the second time now, because Alice brought it up in book club, and I thought, well, why not address some of these things? Because if Father Rohr can address some of and be very successful, he speaks somewhere and there's a gazillion people there. And he's basically talking unity. He doesn't admit it, but he is. I mean, we've been doing this for 130 years. This is not new for unity. Anyway, so it got me thinking about other strange ideas, and original sin came to mind. I said, oh, that's a good one. Let's work on that one. And in fact, he's got a chapter in the book but he calls it Original Goodness. Good for you, Father. So original virtue or original goodness is what I wanted to talk about today. And I'll try to see if I can shine some light on the topic a little bit using 4 sources: tradition, Father Rohr's book, unity teachings, and what I've just kind of gathered and put in my file cabinet under original goodness, as he says it. So let's begin with the first idea, the first question. Is original sin in the Bible? And if you go to a Christian church or whatever, absolutely is. It is the fall from grace. It is that Adam and Eve disobeying God and being thrown out of the garden and being separate, and thus humanity is separate from God. That's the Christian view. However, we need to take something else into account. And that is that this story comes from the Old Testament, which we now call the Hebrew Scripture. And in the Hebrew Scripture, and for Hebrew people, the answer is no. There is no fall from grace. There is no original sin. In their interpretation, there is none of this. That holds true even for today. the idea of a fall from grace is a man-made Christian idea. The Old Testament, remember, is not a Christian book. It's a Jewish book. In fact, it's the Jewish Bible. And thus, we need to take into account the Jewish perspective of this story. And I did just that. I went to YouTube, and I found a really nice Santa Claus-looking rabbi, and he was explaining to me the Jewish perspective, because I wasn't sure, the Jewish perspective of this topic. And, of course, they acknowledged the event, but the difference is that for them it represents sort of an introduction of a dualistic nature, the human nature that came into being, well, that came forth, let's call. But the key difference, he says, is that it does not change our fundamental nature. We are still created in the image and likeness of God for the Jewish people. What we need to do is find ourselves back to that restorative state. Now the Christian view is very different, and Father writes about it. He says, this is not at all what the Christian interpretation introduced by the most influential theologian of the Western world, St. Augustine. He says this, for him, it was a total change in our very nature. We went through some sort of transformation that Adam and Eve became something else that they were not before. They changed. Furthermore, because it is such a fundamental change in human nature, then it ties us all the way back to Adam and Eve, because now we're changed because they're our original parents. And somehow they were mutated, I guess. And so now we're mutated. And we're connected to that original indiscretion. I thought, very interesting. Now we're getting somewhere. Not because of the mutation thing, but because you can't undo something that God has done. And I always say that. You cannot undo, if God made you in its image and likeness, how can you alter that? You don't have the power, if you will. You know what I mean? But as far as being tied to the original act, that hints of, believe it or not, oneness. And I said, oh, now we're getting somewhere. If you recall at the beginning of the lesson, I said, how is it that the action of someone else could alter me? Well, we know a little story about the butterfly that flaps its wings in South America, whatever, and it affects us. Because in a model of oneness, where we're all connected, then everything affects everything else. And I said, okay, that's interesting. So in this model of oneness, let's put our metaphysical hats on and think about this for a second. This is my take because I've never actually heard it or read it anywhere put this way. But what happens is this. Because we interpret the Bible metaphysically, that means that every person, every event, everything that happens in the Bible is representative of our infinite spiritual journey. Everything. So what took place here in this story? So it's only very simple. In the beginning, we were created, and we were created perfect. However, we were given free will. And then we decided we wanted, just like the prodigal son story, we wanted to go to the far country. And in this case, the world of dualism, where there is such a thing as contrast, where there is such a thing as good and evil, or this and that. And so it wasn't, from our point of view, it's not so much that Adam and Eve did it, it's that we did it. We made that choice to go into this world of an expression. But it's not a sin to have done that. It is a choice. And sure, sometimes we make mistakes. We always do. Not sometimes. We're constantly making mistakes. But we learn and we keep growing. But that's not for punishment forever? That's, the whole thing is temporary. It's a journey. And we'll make that cycle back. And so in this world of expression, we get to create ourselves, whatever it is that we want. And yeah, bad actions have consequences. But as Butterworth writes, sin is its own punishment and virtue is its own reward, he says. So, and I told you last week, it's golf. You're keeping track of your own score. You yourself did it. You're not punished because you're out of bounds. You hit the ball out of bounds and you get a stroke because of that. It's not because God planned it. You ended up out there. It's the way the game is played. And so originally we were all born or all created in this divine essence, in this original virtue. And that can never be taken away. So what we need to do is reawaken to that perspective, to that realization. So we were not born with original sin. We never were. Those were the thoughts of a man trying to, and it's a legitimate reason. Philosophers all through history of, why is there evil in this world? And that was his explanation, that when that took place, they disobeyed God, and the devil and sin took over the world. And that rabbi said that's not the case with Judaism. They do acknowledge that sin entered the world, but they still acknowledge that we have more power than that. And so we can overcome. So it's just time for us to just move on and understand these old ideas that were created by mostly guys. And it could have been me. You know, I've got some crazy ideas. No, hey, you never know. But I want to take a few moments to reflect on today's message. I just ask you to take a deep breath and just close your eyes for a moment and just think about the goodness that is everywhere present, and the goodness that we need to focus on. We're reminded today of our true nature as images and likeness of the divine. We're not born in original sin, for God does not create imperfection. These are erroneous misunderstandings of men. A perfect God can only create perfection, and thus our true nature can never be changed from our perfect origin. There is a part of us that never left the garden, and that is the part that we must find. Today's message reminds us that we are born in original virtue, and while we can stray in who tells us to work up to loving God. all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God.
Everything I see, everything I do is blessed by your hand, God. I give it back to you. Everything I give, every thought that's true is magnified in kind, God. I'll give it back to you.
Send forth your energy and join me in our offering dedication. We bless and dedicate these tithes and offerings as an expression of divine love, and we release them to manifest that love in our community and in our world. So this is the time that we would bless the children, but now we bless the children of the world all the time anyway. So we say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Final announcements, our prayer chaplain is Judy today, and next week we're going to do some of the drum circle songs a little bit, so bring your noise makers so we can lift up the, the whole level of this place together. And what else is there? Nothing, I guess. Well, just see you on Wednesday. Sign up for the videos if you wish. And let's end with our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all I read. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joys found. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am present. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Have a blessed, blessed week.